Hi, my name is Melita, and as I'm going into my 20th year of doing psychic readings and psychic coaching, I thought it was time to share some of my experiences and hopefully some of the wisdom I gained over these 2 decades of working so intimately with people. Now, I've been asked by clients right from the beginning if I could help them become psychic too through psychic development courses, and I never felt I was able to because of the way it had happened to me, how I started. I was told I was a clairvoyant and I didn't even know what the word meant, and I hadn't been on the spiritual path, and I didn't know anything about anything, but I did feel very deeply that it was true and that it would change my whole life, which it did. And between this person saying to me that I was clairvoyant and me giving readings, starting to give readings, there were only 3 months time, so I never felt that I was the right person to help people with their psychic development. But over the years, I realized that actually what I was doing was more psychic coaching, if you want, than psychic readings. Because when you give a psychic reading, the person you give the reading to needs to resonate. It needs to resonate. It needs to go into the other person's intuition. Intuitively, people have to feel the truth of this. Yeah. If not, it is not. One should never, ever, ever accept anything that doesn't feel right, because it is based on intuition. It's not based on the mind. So I decided to do some courses on coaching, just to have some extra tools from that side, and then just keep doing my work. And my trainer, she really insisted on saying, like, we needed a niche. What is your niche? And I had no clue. I really enjoy working with people in any area of life. But the one thing I am particularly passionate about is to get people out of their heads into their intuition, which makes sense, because that is the way. That is when you create a flow, and that is where you can truly help people. And so now I do. I besides doing the readings and general coaching, I also help people out of their heads into their intuition. So if you want, you could call that psychic development. But we need this on a daily basis. This is not a thing that we just develop as a skill. This is something that is all, for me, it's your birthright. Yeah, we live in such a mind-orientated society. But yeah, you can think, your brain can think. It's a beautiful problem solving. And the mind can talk and talk and talk, and often repeats itself and is built up of beliefs that, are often negative. What we hear, the thought patterns, are the voices of our childhood, and quite often they're a bit brutal and not so nice, and also not objective. And the mind doesn't. The brain is a problem solver. The brain loves to work together with the heart and with the intuition. That those three, that when they are aligned, then miracles happen. But what we tend to do, what we are taught to do almost, is to listen to our mind. And by doing that, by having all that busyness in our heads, we can't hear our inner wisdom. Yeah? What Louise Hay called our inner ding, and Tara Moore calls us your inner mentor. For me, it's the inner wisdom, intuition, higher self. It doesn't matter, gut feeling. You want to do it, and this needs silence. This needs silence. Your intuition is the most honest and reliable friend you will ever have in your life. And you can create it just by creating some silence in your life. Just, create the silence between the thoughts, between something happening and having a narrative about it, judging it, putting it in a box. Just give it space. And that way you actually create pathways, your inner wisdom. You give it pathways to get to your consciousness. And that little bit of silence, it's just this bit of detachment from the busyness in your mind. Just all the time. And you'll see how much more you can rely on your wisdom instead of on your business and on having to repeat the same thing. So basically, that was my thought for today. A bit of silence in your life. Create a bit of space between the thoughts. Let the inner wisdom come up. And the next time I would like to talk about the relationship between your intuition and self-love. And we go a bit deeper than this week. Thank you for listening to me.